to That's Just Ridiculous with me, Guy Kennaway.
Stop. When you say, can you say that's just ridiculous? Make it sound clear, because it sounds a bit mumbled, some of the introductions. Okay, take two.
Well, but the thing is because I'm not feeling natural, and I'm going to try and find a way of doing it natural. It may not work, but it may be an experiment. It's ding dong dong. It's really good to have Paul here.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to do a different kind of.
All right, go on then. But what about hello, welcome?
I'm just
You have to welcome people.
Do you?
And say,
Okay.
welcome to episode 5 of That's Just Ridiculous.
Okay. Welcome to episode 5 of That's Just Ridiculous with me, Guy Kennaway.
And me, Paul Fryer.
It's really good to have you back, and it's good to have Paul here down in my house.
Thank you.
It's raining outside, and Paul has brought a particular air of gloom into the house, which I'm going to try and lift with conversation with him.
Good luck with that. What was your school nickname, Guy?
Didn't allow one. Oh, I didn't permit them. A few people tried, but I stamped on it.
I wonder what they were.
I stamped.
Kennameat. Kennameat, that's a good one.
Was the one, but I stamped on it. I had absolutely ruthless. My name is Kennaway, or possibly Guy, but no messing around with my name.
What did you threaten them with violence, or how did you drive that home?
Sheer force of personality and charm.
Really?
Yeah.
And did that work for you?
Adoration of me and respect, I think, probably.
Right. Fear.
I don't know what did it. I don't know how I did it, but I didn't like it, and I didn't play along with it.
For some reason, I was called Todd at secondary school, and I don't know at grammar school when I was after I was.
Was it because you had no friends?
Todd.
When you were Todd.
No, it was my friends who gave me the name, Guy.
And you had friends.
Yeah. I was quite small at school, so I used to get bullied and attacked quite a lot. And the way I defended myself was by becoming a psycho. So I got the reputation that if it was all right to mess with me up to a point, but then I would do something insane, like stab you with a pen or break something over your head, or, you know. And I found that worked quite well for me, being small. Mm. But it was a tough time, that, because it was all boys, you know. You couldn't really hide. You had to fight your way out. It was all boys, Catholic school, and it was pretty. There was a lot of violence, football violence, violence between schools, violence between different years and different classes, and it was it was nasty, really.
Yeah, there was no violence at my school.
None?
None, yeah. I was not involved. I was involved in one fight. My first cousin was at school with me, and I bullied him, and he was much bigger than me, and one day he turned around and really came at me, and I obviously talked my way out of it.
Did he give you a kicking, Guy?
He tried to, but I was too quick with saying I'm sorry. I've made a mistake, and I didn't do it again, and I never did do it again. But I've never been in a fight in my life. Never.
No.
I've never hit anyone. No one's ever hit me. And certainly, when I was at school, I was in a year of bright children, and they wanted to be intellectuals. They wanted to be aesthetes. You know, they wanted to debate and to talk.
Sounds well wanky, man.
They were, but they knew it as well. But they were like that. They would make fun of people who played sports or people who got into fights.
I hated all that.
But they were amusing. They were very funny, and they did it entirely on their wits and with their language.
And what was this? Some sort of like bladder rack school for young gentlemen?
At Cranley.
There was quite a lot of violence from the teachers as well, but it was very funny on the whole. We had one teacher who used to hit everyone with a metal ruler, and we all accepted it.
Yeah, we had that too.
Because he was funny. He was a funny guy.
Yeah, Mr. Rice we had, yeah. He had a bit of rubber pipe, and he used to just smack it round our heads and leave great welts. But he was perfectly genial. I kind of wondered if Mr. Rice may have been called in by Mr. Plod.
What you mean for inappropriate behaviour?
And not for sexual inappropriate, but for...
Torture.
Yeah, for torture. Crimes against humanity, crimes against 4B.
Waterboarding, 4B.
Double torture. He tortured some children. By today's standards, I don't know if it's the same with yours, criminal.
Yeah.
Same with yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, criminal.
Criminal.
That's why Britain's gone downhill, isn't it?
Yeah, I think because they've stopped all the talk show. Mr. Pace was his name? No, Mr. I can't remember his name. He was a Latin teacher, and he had a very strange sense of humour. And he was very violent, but we loved him, so we used to put up with it. Whereas if the headmaster hit you, it was just humiliating because he was such a jerk. No, and he was so out of touch. He beat me with a leather strap one day.
I'm not surprised. I'm sure he had good reason.
So I decided to blow him up.
Really?
Yeah. So I went to the physics lab and got a metal calorimeter. You know, those things with a screw-in lid, steel thing. And iron, I think it was. And then I packed it with various chemicals and blew it up on the golf course. And then I found a mercury tilt switch. I found it in a bonfire, this mercury tilt switch, like they used to blow up Airy Neve. And so I decided I was going to get him by planting this bomb on his car. So when he drove, because they used to park on top of the pavement, so when he drove off the pavement, his car would blow up. And it all worked out. And then, as luck would have it, my dad got killed in a car accident, so I never got around to it because my mind was on other things after that. So something kind of good came out of that, because I'd probably still be in jail now if I'd done it. And the bomb was quite effective. Did you used to make bombs?
No, God no.
I made some really good
We used to make
bombs.
gin and tonic, and we were having a nice time.
Gin and tonic?
We used to have tea on a silver salver.
Oh my God. Was it like,
They were called the Tea Time Imperialists. They were my kind of...
Tom Brown school days? In the early 80s. But no, I'd left school by 79 actually. Yeah, after my dad died, because it was just such a bad time really. I wasn't interested, so I went and moved into a flat with a mate of mine, and we just smoked pot and took acid for weeks, months, even a year maybe. It was such fun. We had a wind-up gramophone. It was great.
And you didn't have to worry about paying for things. Somehow there was money there, wasn't it? In the
Yeah,
70s?
we had the dole, and we used to sell a bit of pot or whatever, or so-and-so would...
Everything was so cheap, and the fucking utilities hadn't got their claws into
That's right.
every single house.
And we didn't even care if the power went off.
Yeah.
We just used to go down the chippy or whatever. My Uncle Dave was a generation before me, and he lived in a house which was like, it seemed outlandish to me at the time. He said at one point he was living in this house and they pulled down the house next door and the wall fell down. So he had a curtain on the first floor, and his wall was a curtain. So in the summer he just used to pull the curtain back, and he was sitting there with no wall, you know, on the first floor in this terraced house where they'd knocked all the rest down. It's crazy. But, you know, all that's changed now, I guess.
It's funny that we both have, both our fathers were killed in car accidents, motor vehicular accidents.
Yes. Your dad was in a car, wasn't he?
Yeah.
How old were you?
11. He was 39, I think. I think he was 39.
Yeah, my dad was 43, I think, and I was 16.
Right, a little bit after me.
A week of my 16th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, motherfucker. It was a bit like that. I remember thinking, oh, God, this is outrageous. What the fuck? I went really off the rails, though, because I just took that as a message that I didn't have to do any of that. Get a job, be normal, have a house, any of that. Because I thought, look where that gets you. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. Going to work on a bike, you know, to put food on the table. I thought, I'm just not going to do it. There's no need.
Was your mother very hard up when he died?
Yeah, I mean, she got money from the, you know, she got some compensation or whatever, and life insurance and stuff. But yeah, she was pretty hard up, and then she bought a house, but because she had the money. But yeah, she was never the same again, really. She was much happier in later life when she lost all that, and she had nothing at all.
How did she lose it?
She got some new husband after my dad died, and he turned out to be a proper prick. It was really weird, actually. When I met this guy, I went round to her house and I looked at him and I thought, I know you. I know you from somewhere. So we were chatting and we got drunk and we were at the table eating dinner, and I just kept saying, I know you, you know, and I kept looking at him and I could see he was nervous. And Mum said, oh, you know, he used to be a policeman, he probably arrested you. And I was like, no, that's not it. And we were all laughing. I was thinking, no, I know you and this is not good. And then right at the end of the night when I was really drunk, I just said, I know where I know you from. And his face went white. And he went, what? And I said, were you in Ibiza 2 years ago? And he said, and my mum went, oh yeah, you were. Do you remember you were there with your ex-wife? And he went, yeah, I was actually. I said, well, you were in San Antonio. And I said, I was there with my girlfriend. I said, you were in the bar, this bar, with some woman, and I saw you sitting at the bar. And he was just looked horrified. It was like a trolley zoom. You could see him.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's not the sort of thing when someone says, were you in a bar 2 years ago in Ibiza? Normally a gentleman will have that conversation in private.
Yeah, but...
not you. You were about to nail him.
Yeah, I just thought I'd not fucking... I said...
And well, why do you remember him?
Because he was creepy and weird, and there was something... He was being very loud at the bar. And I remember moving from the bar because of this loud, obnoxious person and going to sit in the back with my girlfriend and going, well, that guy's a jerk. And this was the guy my mother was going to marry. And I just said to my mum, I met him, and she went, what was that about? And I said, I don't know, Mum, about this. You've got to be careful. And she went, oh, I love him. And then she married him. And of course, he beat her up and took all the money. And
Dave tells a good story about a stepfather. His first father, I think, divorced his mother. His mother left him. And his mother, you've got to get your stuff. You've got 2 minutes to get your stuff. We're leaving home.
wow.
We're leaving home. And you're going to have a new daddy. And we're going to meet the new daddy. You'll meet your new daddy now. It's like the first thing that he'd been heard about it. And he was put into a car, driven off to a lay-by, and transferred car. And he was put into this back of this car with this strange man driving the car.
Oh my God.
And his mother said, this is your new daddy. And his mother went back to his car, their car, to pick up some stuff. And the man, this total stranger, turned to him and said, we can either do this the easy way or the hard way.
Whoa. Oh my God.
That was the first thing, and Dave realised, that's my new stepdad.
Uh-oh, yeah. Doesn't bode well then. No. I was a bit older then. I was at art college by the time she'd married him. But yeah, she left him and then she went back to him, and then she left me and she went back to him, and I moved her out twice. And then the third time I went there with her, I got a 3-ton truck and I got all the stuff and put it in there, and I loaded his rifle and put it by the door. I said, if he comes back, I'm going to shoot him. I said, I'm not having any nonsense. I said, and you're leaving him this time. If you go back, you're on your own. And she never did. She never went back. But he was a nasty piece of work. Very funny, though.
Yeah, fun of my stepfather was very amusing too, but he was a nasty piece of work.
Yeah, horrible man. A bit like my granddad, Harry, was really nasty, but very, very funny. Told great stories. But then he would think nothing of glassing somebody in the pub. He was a real violent man, very aggressive. But I guess it did that to you, being in the war and doing all those horrible things that you had to do. He was a really... I loved my granddad, and I was really shocked when I grew up and found out what a monster he'd been to everybody else, and I was so shocked because to kids he was like a war hero, a funny guy, And then my dad said he wasn't a fucking war hero. He got dishonourably discharged and all this, It's like he turned out to be a proper rogue, he was stealing things and, just a monster, really. Yeah. And he used to go to Bridlington every summer and play the accordion because he could get girls, Horrendous person. Funny, though.
I went to the war, not since I last saw you, must be not long before that. Did I tell you I went to the Normandy landings battlefield?
Did you?
Yeah, with my sister. She wanted to go and see it. I went up to the American war cemetery.
Oh yeah.
Which was so like an art installation, and they had a little museum there, and it was so like a gallery, like a Hauser and Wirth. As I got out the car, I said to everyone, "Welcome to Hauser and Wirth, Normandy." It looked exactly like Hauser and Wirth. And then the crosses all in the line just looked like an installation.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've seen that.
And I did think this is the only expense is only spent with the general public to this levels for art now. You don't see it anywhere else. Where it's the pennies are not skimped. Everything is properly done.
Yeah.
You only ever see that in the art galleries now. You don't see it in anywhere. Sports pavilions or in libraries. Everything's shit.
It is. It's all collapsing.
But for the war cemetery, the first time I saw it, God, this is probably funded. Anyway, you wander around again. I went to see the cemetery, and that was quite good. I started getting really interested in the groups of Germans and Italians who were there. Just like, I got fascinated by them. And eventually I came upon this great kind of mosaic, which is a battle plan overlooking the beach. You look down on it, and there is a kind of a mosaic sort of map of the landscape in front of you, and it has the arrows, Omaha, sword, gold, and the way that they attacked the beach. And there were groups around me of no English at all. There were some Americans there, and there were some Italians, and there were some Germans, and there was some French. I looked at it, and I said to the assembled people who were looking down at it, hence Brexit, to see if any of them would
Brexit. Look, I'm playing devil's
we
advocate.
saved Europe.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
We saved Europe.
Well, with
and now they treat us like
with
dirt.
Lend-Lease and bombers from the US.
We did it, and that's how it's going to be after Brexit.
Really?
With Lend-Lease and
People,
bombers.
it's not looking good, at the moment.
We can't get hung up on that. But can I tell you about this? Then we went to another beach, long stretch of beach, and you sort of half close your eyes and you see the dunes, and it's a bit like the beginning of Saving Private Ryan. You could imagine them where the German guns would have been and how difficult it would have been getting out of the water and up the hill.
Yeah.
And this was a mighty battle in which we saved Europe for the second time. Anyway, that is beside the point. Because plonked in front of this amazing historical landscape is this fucking great, this disgusting, ugly bit of stainless steel. It's a modern art, contemporary art, that some wanker has been commissioned, I guess, by the Americans, possibly by the French, to stick in the shallows of the water. I can't remember what it's called. It's called something like the Spirit of Freedom or something. Ugh. And it is so ugly, and it's so...
What, is it a dove coming out of the water?
It's a tiny abstracty version of a dove coming out of the water. It's like things springing out of the water.
Dolphins.
It's a bit like a huge splash. And I guess, I don't know what it is. I don't care. Why do they have to put bits of art in the middle of these really
You could have just opened up on it with a couple of 88s and blown it to bits, couldn't you?
They'd have to put a fence around it to stop people getting closer to it.
And pissing on it.
I'm sure it was to protect it from being destroyed. I mean, actually, I gave everyone my penny's worth on the subject of it, but no one in the immediate vicinity agreed with me. In fact, they moved away.
But isn't that what we fought the war for, though, to be able to have beautiful works of art on the beach where there was once carnage?
Right, that's the kind of thing they were saying to me.
Yeah, I bet they were.
I shouted at them.
What did you say?
What side were you on?
You didn't
My
say
sister
that.
had to drag me away, actually. She said, you've got to be careful what you say, guy, because although no one's going to attack you,
they might arrest you.
It's rude, it's just rude.
Oh, it's just rude.
Impolite.
Well, so he's, for that matter, exterminating people and...
Well, exactly. I was surprised how many Germans were there, though.
Do you know...
Except my sister then got into the whole swing of insulting Germans.
Uh-oh.
And she roundly abused a really nice Dutch family. Who identified from their number plate, A, was a clue.
Yeah.
And then, secondly, from their language. And she said, you didn't have to park like that while you park right across the middle of you've taken up all this space. Sort of nice, kind of bubbling, anti-German. Actually, I can't talk about this, it's terrible. Andrew will understand, Andrew Conishaw, my listener. But no one else will.
What about that? I looked into David Irving recently. Do you know anything about him?
Yeah.
The disgraced historian, one of your lot, a fellow writer.
I don't know what that's about.
It's so weird, isn't it?
Mental illness, that, isn't it?
I think he's mental. Yeah, I do think he's mad.
Bonkers.
Hubris.
Just walk away.
Good old
quietly.
hubris.
Walk away quietly, mate.
Walk away, baby.
It's funny. My mother's very litigious. She's always in court.
And is she the same then?
Yeah.
Driven by it.
About justice, guy.
Yeah.
It's not about anything else. It's not about little what's right for you or me. It's about justice.
She's the sword.
Yeah. And in fact, Aiken said, "I will draw the sword of truth," didn't he?
Oh, Jonathan Aiken. Yeah, he was
yeah.
hysterical, wasn't he? What an idiot.
I will draw the sort of truth and then found out to be a total liar.
And then fell on it. He fell on the fucker.
Fucking idiot.
And remind me, Guy, what was his political persuasion?
I believe he was a Lib Dem.
Was he a Lib Dem?
Or I know, he was a Labour. He was Labour.
He was what, sorry? Jonathan Aiken?
Since then, we've cleared it out. We've got the new...
Oh, it's we now, is it? So you're on record now then, Guy, as being a Tory, I guess.
What do you mean I'm on... Of course I am. I'm proudly on record. But actually, I may not, who cares?
But why are you a Tory? Just because of habit? It's just habit, isn't it? It's just because your dad was and your family are, and so you have to be as well, I
don't
guess.
even know if my dad was, actually. My mother's definitely not a Tory. 100%.
Is she not?
No way.
Is she not?
No way.
What is she then?
She believes herself a leading figure of the political left. She's a nutter, my mother. She's beautiful. She's a nutter. She puts it. She's in the category of Rosa Luxemburg in her head. Definitely, yeah.
Really?
But because she's very strong on anti-nuclear, she's probably Lib Dem.
Right.
But she's definitely not Tory.
Are you not strong on the anti-nuclears?
Yeah, but I'm doing that from within the Tory party.
So you are an anti-nuclear Tory?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm anti-nuclear weapons, but I'm pro-nuclear power.
So anti-nuclear weapon Tory?
Yeah.
Is there such an animal?
For goodness sake, this is what happened last night when everyone was attacking
seriously,
me.
there's no such thing, is there?
But, yeah,
if you're a Tory, you can't be anti-nuclear weapons, Guy. It's the deterrent. Come on, you know this.
I don't.
This is fucking
sorry.
101, man.
No.
You can't be a Tory and not be pro-nuclear weapons. It's Trident all
I
the
think
way.
it's a waste of money. I think it's a waste of money.
Well, I agree with you.
Nuclear. I think we could be spending the money on other things.
It's obviously a waste of money.
Like, for instance, eviction orders on people who haven't paid their council tax.
Or an army that works.
Yeah. There's too many people not paying council tax. We should spend more money on having them properly taken through the court system.
Oh my God, yeah, and all those disabled people taking the piss.
Right, we've got to have that.
They need clamping down on properly. Clamp them down completely. In fact, take the wheelchairs off them and just clamp them.
Do you think too many people have got disabled stickers? Do you think there are too many
have
disabled?
you got one? Yes.
Do you think there are too many disabled parking bays?
Do I think there are too many disabled people, did you just say?
No. Do you think too many
What, are you talking about perhaps getting rid of a few, Guy? Is this a new Tory policy?
No, no.
Oh, yes.
Get rid of a few of those bits of blue cardboard that they put in their windscreen. They have in their windscreen.
Why have you not?
Because I see them getting out. They walk perfectly well into the supermarket.
Not all disabilities are visible, Guy.
Well, they should not have to be given a shorter walk. Most of them look like they could do with a proper fucking walk. They should be made to park a kilometre away from the supermarket and do some exercise.
They might have a thingy bag on the...
I don't care. They should walk. They do them some good. I mean it. A bit of exercise would be better for most of those people than...
Most of those people? What if they're really disabled and they can't walk very far? Or if they get emphysema? People die because they have to walk.
I don't see those ones where I watch them nipping into B&Q for a plank and a pot of paint. They're quite sprightly. They're like sitting, and they're in the disabled bay. Why? Because they've got a disabled sticker. It just doesn't make sense to me. And there's a guy at the Bell. There was a fight. I wasn't involved in it. I said, "What's the fight about?" And the guy said, well, he was being teased about having, is it blind, partially sighted or blind disability? He's fully registered blind.
Partial sight?
No, I think he was fully registered blind, and he'd got into a fight because someone had pointed out to him that he shouldn't be playing pool if he was fully registered blind. and they were resentful of the fact that he could hold a game of pool together while pulling his full... whatever it is.
Drawing his disability.
Yeah, people taking the piss.
Me and my brother had a game of darts with a blind man once, and he beat us.
Right.
In a pub. We walked in, and I went to the loo, and I came back and said to my brother, there's a blind guy in there playing darts. And my brother went, I've got to see this. So we went and sat down in there, and he was like that. And we realised he had this woman with him, and she was going, yeah, you're in the outer ball or whatever.
Like banging the ball.
And then she was playing with her eyes shut. And we were like, we've got to get some of this. So I said to him, do you want a game? And he was like that with it. He went, yeah, these eyes up in his head. And he goes, I'll give you a game. He goes, well, he says, we've watched you play, so we'll play the same way as you are. And we just got pissed with him, and he beat us every time. And then we said to him, and we were in my little boat, when we had that little boat on the Lee. And he said, he said, it's been a really nice evening. I said, what do you do? He went, what do you think I fucking know? I'm a piano tuner. He wasn't joking. So he said, how are you getting home? I said, well, we've got a boat. He went, you've got a boat? I've never been in a boat. And we were like, get out here. We were hammered. And we fucking stumbled out of the pub. And it was like quite a long drop down to the boat. And we managed to hoy him up over this fence. And he fell over the fucking thing into the back of the boat, upside down. So we climbed down and got him up. And he was like, yeah, I'm all right. And we went down the river in the boat, and I was like, and we were going down the river, and he was going, oh, this is great. And he was set up in the front with the wind on his face. He's going, this is amazing. And I went, do you want to drive? And he went, I can't fucking drive, I'm blind, mate. And I said, it's dark, we can't see where we're going anyway. I said, I'm using sound as much. And he went, well, actually, weirdly, I can hear the riverbanks. So he got behind the wheel, and he was driving the boat. And this look went across his face I've never seen the like of. And he just... When we took him back, he said, you know what? He said, I've never driven anything in my life before because we're not allowed. He said, obviously, for obvious reasons. He said, but he said, I'm getting a boat. He said, that was amazing.
Right.
And I was just looking at your notes here, guys. Well, what's this? Artists have to make money. Why? Spoilt entitlement and greed. What the fuck? Artists have to make money.
Because you always start, you go, we have to make money, guy. We have to make money. You have to make money, you know, as if there's some, well, obviously.
Well, how do you think artists live?
I don't care. It's not our job to support artists. It's like going, how do plumbers live? They go out and if they don't get any plumbing work,
why have you got a problem with artists making money then?
No, I don't have a problem with them making money, but I have a problem with you saying that we have to have a system arranged in which they all make money.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You said, well, we've got to make money, Guy. I've got to make money.
I never said that.
It's like a plumber going to me, Guy, I've got to make money, so I'm going to charge you 10 grand for that radiator I popped on your wall.
Well, they do anyway, don't they? That's cheap.
Soon, actually, plumbers are going to be more expensive than artists.
Because you know why? Because all the fucking artists will be plumbers.
If only. We're so short of plumbers in this country.
Well, not anymore. What about all those Polish people that oh no, I forgot we're Brexitizing them.
It is so difficult to get hold of plumbers at the moment.
Well, you know why, don't you? Because they've all gone home, Guy.
No, it's true, because it's not true, because I may have mentioned this to you before. My plumber, his apprentice, you know what his apprentice is? He's a sodding artist and he lives at the East End of London.
Right.
He was he had a future as a plumber and he's given it up to be
an artist.
To be an artist.
Is he making things out of pipes?
I hope so. I said, is he putting radiators on walls? Brilliant, but not having to connect them up.
This is a brilliant part. It doesn't have to work.
Exactly. He just bung the radiator. You know, get someone else, get his fabricators to bung the rad up.
Do you really hate artists, Guy?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I think that you need to be worked a bit harder. What are you working on at the moment?
I'm thinking about making 500 small paintings this big on aluminium panels, which will be sold for £1,000 each. What do you think of that?
Well, I just think, why on earth are you starting from the financial end? It's just such an extraordinary way to look at a process, is to just start with the money. You started with a figure of $500,000, and then you just worked back. And it just seems to be... It's just... Like,
no, Guy,
I'm amazed you could actually get that sentence out, particularly on a microphone.
No, I'm just using language that you understand, Guy, because you don't understand. All right, I'll put it...
It's not my job to. It's your job. It's your job to show me. It's not my job. Like, you managed to have set up some kind of weird system whereby if we don't understand it, the failure's in us.
Did I give you...
And in fact, the failure's in the goddamn fucking art.
Did I give you the impression...
But people are too scared because it's a woo, 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 Tate Modern, woo, 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 Nicholas Sylvester, woo, woo, the Turner Prize. So when they look at something and they go, what the flaming fuck is that? They go, oh, there must be something wrong with me. Not, it is clearly something wrong with that. That is absolute shite.
No, Guy, you were the one last time I spoke to you who said, why don't you artists do something that people can afford and that it's nice for people?
No, I didn't say that.
You did, and you sell it for a reasonable amount of money.
No, I didn't.
Everyone's
I said,
happy.
why don't you find out what it's worth? If it's worth, a lot of people want it.
It's worth what the artist says it's worth at the end of the day.
Oh, it's like saying that the plumber walks in and goes, oh, that radiator's worth
are you that
100
naive?
grand.
Are you that naive that you don't think that's what the plumber does? Jesus Christ.
You know, you go.